last night, my girlfriend and I were treated to a surprise. And that was a video from a couple of guys on YouTube called, the channel is called Hugo and Jake. These guys are atheists, and what they've done in the past is, and they're still kind of doing it, is they do videos where they're reading the Bible and they're sort of breaking it down, and they're actually reading it word for word. Well, last night we thought we were going to get another installment of that, but instead we got the two addressing an individual who has become pretty famous, notorious. Not sure what he is. He is a professor in Canada who got his name by being very strong against this bill, or this set of rules that Canada was proposing at the time. The bill was called Bill C-16. Now, when I was first hearing about this bill, I thought it was a very bad bill. And to an extent, to this day, I think it's a bad bill. The reason why is because the way it is worded, it could be made into such a thing where people are compelled by legal action to use pronouns that people prefer. And to me, this is not good. And the reason why is because I don't want people to be forced by legal action to accept myself, or to accept trans people, or to accept gender variant people. I don't want those who would be against us gender nonconforming people to feel like they should hide. I personally want them to be out. I want them to be out and to be seen for the ugly, hateful individuals that they actually are. And if they're being compelled to have to obey a law that says you must treat these people this way, or you're going to jail. Now, the law doesn't quite read that way. What it does is it adds transgendered and gender variant as a protected class. However, and I'll put the link down below, there was a lawyer that came out and was saying, look, this is a slippery slope, essentially. He's pointing out how Bill C-16 and the provisions within it could be used to be abused, or could be abused. And like I said, I'll put that the link to that down below. I'll put Hugo and Jake's channel as well. See, the thing is, there's this push by the left to silence bigots, to deplatform bigots, and to basically shove them into a corner. And I think this is the wrong way to do things. I think what needs to happen is for these people to be exposed, as I said, as rotten bigots, rotten people. I don't know what, something's going on over there. Rotten people that they are. You know, I'm not sure about Jordan Peterson himself. Some of the things I've heard him say are not all that bad. But other things he has said, like forced monogamy, or enforced monogamy, and sort of standing up for the incel movement, that doesn't ride with me well at all. That's fucking crazy shit. Getting back to the bill and getting back to the legislation when it comes to gender variant people, frankly, what I wish would happen is that there was legislation to prevent businesses, to prevent employment, to prevent housing groups, and to prevent public services from being able to discriminate against people such as myself, or trans people or people of those natures. Basically, what I'd really like is for it to just be, you really shouldn't discriminate against people based on their race, upon their sex, upon their sexual orientation, upon their gender presentation, and upon their ethnicity. None of those things should come into play when it comes to employment, when it comes to housing, when it comes to services. That's how I feel. And, but at the same time, I don't want someone facing jail time if they address me as a female and continue to address me as a female when I say I'm male. I want them to do it on their own volition. Do you see what I mean? I don't want people being forced to do things like address people by their preferred pronouns. You know, my preferred pronoun is male. But when you look at me, you probably think, ah, that's a girl. Or it's a trans person. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it's. But that person is trans. And they'd be wrong on both counts. I'm androgynous. I do androgyny. And the way I identify and my gender identity is male and masculine. Just a different version of masculinity. So if someone insists on calling me she or using feminine pronouns because they're being a jerk, let them be a jerk. You know, they're being a jerk, fine. You're showing your ignorance, or you're showing your stubbornness. That's what it is. It's more like a stubbornness thing. It's just that thing. You know, Jordan Peterson, he sort of is putting out like old worldy ideas about how boys and men should behave, and frankly I'm not for a lot of it, but I have to get further into his story. He apparently has a book called 12 Steps of Life, and that is what Hugo and Jake are actually going to be breaking down. So I'm looking forward to this because I don't really want to buy his book, but I've seen his chapters, and one of the chapters is so badly worded. The name is badly worded. It was something like, don't let your kids disappoint you, or don't let your kids do things that will disappoint you. And it sounds like a control thing, but what it actually is, because I saw that and I just wanted to see what the hell is this. What it was is telling parents to not make stupid rules that will make them disappointed in their kid. I think that's a good thing. You know, it's like my parents making up rules for me that were dumb, like I can't wear skirts, you know, I can't do non-masculine things. Oh, no, I can't listen to rock music because my parents hated me listening to rock music. But that sort of thing. And they were disappointed in me because I was listening to rock music, or because I wore leggings, or something like that. All of those things are not important to judge your child on, and I think that's what Jordan Peterson was trying to do with that one chapter. Now, looking at the chapters, there was a lot of, you know, pick up your room, tidy up your room, stand up straight, all that kind of stuff. And when I hear stand up straight and pick up your room, I kind of get wiggy about it. Not wiggy. Unsettled. It's unsettling. Because I don't like people... I'm an oddball. I don't like people telling other people what to do when it's unimportant shit. It's like my mom was always telling me to clean my room. What was really funny was she'd tell me to clean my room because my grandma or my grandpa was coming over, and it's like they're never going into my room. And they didn't. So I'd clean up my room and nobody would see that I'd cleaned up my room. And to be honest, I never really let my room get into a pigsty because frankly I hate pigsties. But it was just funny how she would do that. But it was like, you know, pick up your room, tidy up your room and stand up straight. Stand up straight. What if I've got scoliosis or something? You know, what? I mean, I'm being silly right now, but this bill C-16 is a frightening bill. It is my understanding, it is a very, very frightening bill, not because of the bill itself, but because of provisions that are in it that can allow abuse. And the sorts of abuse we're talking about is people going to jail for using the wrong pronoun on a person. Also, my understanding is Jordan Peterson, in his video where he's saying he doesn't want to use those pronouns because he doesn't want to be compelled to use them. It was a policy that was in the university he worked at that had it where he could lose his job if he didn't do it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's no good. That's no good either. A person's job should not be threatened for such things. Just like how Colin Kaepernick should not lose his job for not standing for the pledge. Let's go on that. That's sort of a side note. This thing about the NFL forcing the players to stand or they lose their job, once again, I don't want people being compelled to do something that you should want to do, right? If you have people being forced to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or for the national anthem, it's not genuine, it's fake, and that's no good. Well, Bill C-16 is kind of the same thing. I'm looking at my battery monitor and it looks like it's dying, so I'm going to have to cut this video short. Anyways, look at the links that I provide. Learn about Bill C-16. I might be wrong about it. If I am, please put it in the comments nicely. And check out Hugo and Jake. They're funny. They're funny. They're pretty well learned. I think on some things they get a little bit off, but I think they're very good heart, and they mean to get information out there. And their Atheist Bible Study series is both entertaining, funny, but also very informative. You get to learn quite a bit about the good book and how actually not very good it is. Speaking of that, I have a video that I have done about Sodom and Gomorrah. It is a long video, but I'd like you to watch it when I post it. So that's about it, and I hope you all have a good day. Bye-bye.